Hello and welcome to Fast Track IELTS and our OET one-to-one course. My name is Jordan and I'm one of the OET teachers for doctors, nurses and pharmacists. And I'm very excited today to be here and to introduce the course to you and to hopefully kind of give you a good idea of what to expect from your studies. First and foremost, I want to thank you very much for registering for our course. We do it every day, but we really do love helping healthcare professionals like you to, pass your exam and kind of move on to the next stage of your career so you can start working in the UK. So in this video, I'll be showing you how to use the course and how it works, and most importantly, how to pass the exam and how to get the most out of your studies. So this course is designed to provide you with one-to-one lessons with a teacher, and this means you're going to get individual support and attention, which is going to be essential for passing this test. And in addition to these one-to-one lessons, it also includes unlimited group lessons and training until you pass the exam. And we're going to look at this today and kind of explain more about what this means. As part of the course, it is a full curriculum that covers all of the 4 sections of OET, the 4 language skills, which are reading, writing, listening and speaking. So during your lessons, we'll work together to kind of find any areas of your language skills that need some help, and our job will be kind of working with you to kind of improve on these skills. You'll have interactive Zoom lessons with a teacher to improve your communication in healthcare, and you'll also be asked to complete practice tests and mock exams so we can kind of track your progress, see how you're doing, and see what needs to be done for you to pass the exam. So before we get started today at looking at the course, it is important to say that when it comes to passing this exam, it is important to make that commitment to regular practice and also to being open to the feedback that your teacher is going to give you during your lessons. It is definitely possible to pass OET, but it will take practice and some difficulties along the way as well. So it's important we kind of keep working through those, keep practicing, kind of pushing through any kind of difficult times. If we have any sections of the exam where we don't like or we're not as confident with, just to kind of keep going, keep communicating with your teacher regarding those so we can kind of push through to the other side and get you through this test. So overall, our goal is to kind of help you achieve your OET results and to take the next step in your healthcare career. And we really look forward to making that happen and kind of getting you through. Brilliant. So let's move on from here then, and let's start having a look into the course, what it involves, and kind of how to use it. And a little bit later on, I'll be showing you some kind of screenshots of kind of how to find everything. Of course, if you do have any questions or if you have any difficulty, do reach out to us. We really are here to help and to support you. If you have any concerns with your studies, please do get in touch, and I'll be showing you a little bit later on how to do that as well. Brilliant. Great, so let's get started then. And first of all, let's talk about what is included in the course. So as we can see here on this screen, the first thing that's included, of course, are going to be the one-to-one and group lessons. Now, I like to think of the one-to-one lessons, which are, of course, just you and the teacher, as kind of the main part of the course, really. The 80% of it is kind of having those one-to-one lessons where you're working with the teacher to learn the techniques of the exam. As part of the course, however, you also include unlimited group lessons, and that means you can attend as many group lessons as you need for as long as you need until you pass the test. And again, I like to think of those as that little bit of extra practice just to kind of improve on your skills. So definitely attend the one-to-one course, but also use the group lessons that are available to you, as they're just naturally going to improve your skills. Really, it is just as simple when it comes to OET, really any test is the more you practice, the better you're going to get. So kind of use all of your lessons and kind of use those to help you. And again, later on, we'll look at booking those lessons and how it all works. So, of course, the next thing that's included then is going to be OET practice materials. And these are basically sample tests or old OET tests that will kind of give you an idea of what to expect, and also will be an opportunity for you to practice what you've learned in your lessons with your teachers. Next is going to be the writing corrections, and this is where you will submit OET letters for corrections from our teachers. And we'll look at a little bit later on how to go about doing that. But the short version is that you'll be asked to write OET sample letters from the OET writing exam. You'll send them to our teachers using the online student area, which we'll be looking at later, and then you'll receive feedback and a predicted score based on the work that you've done. Also included as part of the course are homework assignments, and these are just additional tasks to kind of review what you did in the last lesson. So after completing, let's say, the reading lesson, for example, you'll have a reading-focused task, homework assignment, for you to complete. There'll also be OET course videos, and there are kind of two types of videos. There are videos which review the techniques that you've used in the lessons. These are very, very helpful. And there are also recordings of previous group lessons and recent group lessons in case you missed the class as well. And very finally, we've got self-study materials. These are activity books, practice questions, that type of thing, for you to kind of build on your skills and to kind of further develop your understanding of the OET exam and how the course works as well. Brilliant. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at the online course, have a bit of a look around, press all the buttons and kind of find out where to find everything in your course. So let's move over to the website now and we'll have a look at that. Great, perfect, here we are. So when you first register for the course, you will receive a welcome email from us, and that'll have some instructions to log in and to access your course. There'll usually be kind of a login button on there. When you press that login button, you'll come onto this page here, and this is where you'll need to enter your username and your password to log in. So I've already put mine in here already to get us started, so I'm just going to press login and wait for the page to load. Excellent. So once we've first logged in, we'll come across this page, and this is basically our menu page where we go to choose our course. Now, we know already we're in the OET 1-to-1 course, so let's have a look and we'll press into that to get this started. Fantastic, brilliant. So this is it. This is kind of the main page of your course. When you're studying with us, this is the page where you're going to spend a lot of your time, and this is where you're going to find everything that you need for your studies. And we're going to kind of go through each of these little sections here today. If you ever go onto the wrong course or you're not sure where to find it or to get back to the menu, you can also use this menu at the top here and select OET 1-to-1 course from here, and that'll get you where you need to go also. Brilliant. So you'll notice we've got kind of all of these options here on the page, and they're quite similar to what we saw on the last screen as well. We saw the booking calendar and the practice tests, that type of thing. Fantastic. So when I first log in here, the first thing that calls out to me is this Start Here section. And of course, this is where when we first log in, this should be the first thing that we do. And this Start Here section will basically be an introduction to not only the OET exam, but to the course as well. And this video that you're watching now will also be available in this section as well, if you ever want to go back to it in the future. Great, so when you first come onto this page, you'll see these options here. And first of all, it kind of thanks us for joining the course, and all of those things. And it also tells us how long it's going to take to complete this section. And you'll notice a little bit further down the page, we've got this course content, this lesson content here. And we'll see we've got what is how the course works, what is OET, course rules and information, booking our first lesson, and introduce yourself as well. And what I would recommend is, after you've watched this video today, the very first thing you should do is log in and work your way through each of these sections. So you understand how the course works, you understand what the exam is, you understand the rules and information about the lessons, and also you'll know how to book your first lesson. We'll be looking at that today as well. And there'll also be a questionnaire at the end for you to introduce yourself as well. This will just be kind of an opportunity to kind of tell us a little bit about you, where you're from, and this will be sent to your teacher as well. So definitely worth filling that introduction questionnaire out, and it'll give you, your kind of teacher will be more prepared for you If you have any concerns about the exams or any kind of information you feel we should know before your lessons, be sure to fill in that form so we can be kind of fully prepared for you before you start your lessons. Excellent. So the next thing then we will see is once we've worked through that Start Here section, the next thing we'll see is the booking calendar. And basically the booking calendar is where you will go to book your lessons. So let's go on to this section first of all. And when we come onto here, when we first press onto it, we'll be given two options before we book the lesson. The first is going to be our lesson type, and you'll see we've got one-to-one lessons, and we've also got group lessons as well. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to book one of our one-to-one lessons to begin with. Let's have a look. I'm going to choose, let's say the 27th of February, and I've got a couple of times to choose from here. So if it is your first lesson, book with any available teacher that you can see. Have a look through all the days, try and find a time that is suitable for you, and just book for the most convenient time for you with any available teacher. All of our teachers are fully qualified in all of the sections of the test and all of the different occupations, so they can all teach medicine, pharmacy, nursing or physiotherapy. Whatever your occupation, all of the teachers will be trained and ready for that section. So just book with any available teacher that you can see. So let's say here I pressed onto a time. I like the time 5:15, February 27th, and I'll be given this form here. What I will need to do then is to fill out this form with my personal information. So my name is Jordan, my surname is Wotton, let's say I'm an OET nurse, so I'm going to select nurse, and then I'm going to also fill out my email address here. And then I can also include my telephone number, which I would recommend that you do. And also there's this box here that tells us whether you're going to be using a laptop, a phone, or a tablet. So I'm just going to say here I'm using a laptop. Perfect. So then I'm going to press book now. Now, in the past, we have had students make a very simple mistake, which is to then think it's booked. But from here, you'll just need to review all of the instructions, and it isn't booked until we press that confirm button here at the bottom. So I'm happy with that. Yep, February 27th, 5:15, I can attend at that time. I'm an OET nurse, my email address. I could enter my phone number in case of any problems. I'd recommend you do that. And also, I'll be using a laptop or a computer for the lesson. So just a little note that do only book a lesson if you're confident that you're going to be attending it. You will be able to cancel lessons up to 24 hours before the class begins, but please do only book if you're sure that you're going to be able to attend the class at that time. Great, so let's go ahead then. I'm going to book this lesson right here. Fantastic, it's just loading. Oh, perfect. Thank you for your reservation. We've sent you an email with details. Brilliant. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move over to my email to check those. And what I would say here is make sure that when you are making a booking, make sure that you double check your email address. If you put an incorrect email address in, you won't get the confirmation to come through. So it's important you kind of check that, make sure you've got all the right details before kind of putting the booking through. Here I am on my email account, and I can see that the emails come through. And if I've received this email, I can assume that the lesson's been booked and everything should be sorted, and I'll now be able to attend at that time. So I've got the email, thank you for your lesson booking, Jordan, and it confirms my lesson with Anna on Zoom at the time that I had chosen. If you are unable to attend a lesson, or if something comes up to cancel the class, we can then cancel using this click here to cancel link as well. If you aren't going to be able to attend, please do get in touch with us by cancelling that, and that just opens the slot up for somebody else. If you do not cancel a lesson, the lesson won't be repeated. So be sure to cancel it and kind of avoid, we don't want you to miss out on the lesson and kind of miss out on the teaching for those. So please do get in touch with us. Please do cancel using that link just to kind of make sure that the slot is opened up for somebody else, and most importantly, to make sure that you don't miss out on the lessons. So there'll be a couple of details in this email. So the first is that it will say 24 hours before the lesson begins, we will receive a reminder email reminding us of our lesson. And this reminder email will contain a Zoom link. And all you will need to do is to open that link at the time of your lesson, and that will start the class. And we're going to have a look at that in a few moments. Brilliant. Let's move over and have a look at that email. Here we go. Excellent. So 24 hours before the lesson begins, you'll get an email coming through like this, and this will be a reminder of your lesson. So you'll see here, it's pretty simple. Hello, Jordan. This is a reminder of your lesson with Anna at this particular time. Please join the Zoom meeting 5 minutes before your confirmed lesson time using the button below. And all you'll then need to do is to just press onto Zoom, start Zoom meeting, and that will basically begin the lesson. You'll be directly connected to the teacher, a video will come up, and your teacher will be ready about 5 minutes before the class begins. And it really is as simple as that. Great, and we're back in here. Fantastic. So the other section, the next section, is going to be our practice tests. And these are basically practice tests for each of the occupations for OET. So we've got writing practice tests for nursing, for medicine, for pharmacy, for physiotherapy, and there are also reading and listening tests. Of course, as you'll see in one of our other videos, all professionals do the same reading and listening exams. There are no specific tests for those professions, but we'll be providing more information on that in another lesson. What I would say is when you first start the course, don't worry too much about kind of working through all of the practice tests. I always think the most important thing is to kind of follow the structure of the course, and your teacher will be kind of guiding you through what to study. So don't worry about kind of signing up today, working your way through all the listening tests or all the reading tests. Just start off by kind of booking your first lesson. We'll be systematically going through each of the sections of the test. We'll start off with the writing, and we'll work our way eventually through all of the subjects. So some of the other sections here then are going to be our course videos. And again, these are pretty simple. I won't necessarily watch one today, but feel free to have a look around. After each lesson, there'll be a video for you to watch, and that will basically review what you did in the class. And it'll basically be a video that summarizes the techniques of the exam. If you're studying writing grammar, for example, it will look at that grammar again, and is a great way to remind yourself of kind of what you were taught in your lesson and what it was that you were doing. And the same for the homework. After each one-to-one lesson, there will be a homework assignment to complete. For example, OET writing has got a homework here, lesson 2, lesson 3. Every lesson, as such, has a homework assignment to complete. And what I would recommend doing is, after each of your lessons, completing those and sending them in to your teacher. And generally speaking, it's best to kind of give yourself a bit of time to complete those, and also give your teacher a little bit of time to mark it as well and get that feedback for you. And the same is true with our writing corrections. Now, when it comes to the homework and the writing corrections, I'm not going to go into too much detail today, as during your lessons, your teacher will be kind of explaining the homework to you and kind of guiding you through this in a bit more detail. Feel free to have a look around so you kind of know what to expect and where to find everything, but your teacher during your lessons will be kind of guiding you to complete the homework. So if you do have any questions about those, do have a look around, but your teacher will also be there to help. And then very finally, we've got lesson recordings, and these are recordings of recent OET group lessons. And these are just, again, a good opportunity if you missed a class, you can go back and kind of watch the video for that one again, or you can also then attend the lesson again when it repeats. The same is true of the skill quizzes. These are online quizzes. They just kind of build your grammar skills. And then very finally, those self-study books are activity books you'll kind of work through to kind of build your skills in the exam. We're going to talk in a moment about kind of how to pace yourself and kind of how to work through the course and in what order you should do. But it's definitely good to kind of know where everything is found. And then if I mention practice tests, you know we're going to go here. If I mention the videos, you know I'm going to go here, and so forth. One thing I didn't mention was about booking group lessons. And again, it is exactly the same as booking the one-to-one lessons. We go onto the booking calendar, This time we choose group lessons instead of one-to-one, which we selected before. And then we just follow the instructions, fill out our name. It works exactly the same. You get an email through with a Zoom meeting link, and it is exactly the same process. Brilliant. So let's move back to our slides from a little bit earlier on, and let's kind of go back and kind of review what we've talked about. So I like to think of the course as kind of having a bit of a set structure to it that we kind of repeat again and again throughout. So, of course, the first thing we do is going to be complete that Start Here section that we talked about before, and at the end, you'll be invited to book your first lesson. We can see it says here, this green option, book lesson here. You'll then, of course, attend the lesson, the next option on here. You'll then watch the video. Those are the course videos we looked at before, and again, which review the techniques of the exam. You'll then complete the self-study book and the skill quizzes before completing the homework. Once you've completed the homework, you'll then book your next one-to-one lesson and repeat those steps. So book a lesson, attend the lesson, watch the video, which reviews what you did before, complete the self-study and skill quizzes to kind of make sure you've understood what you were taught, complete the homework to send to your teacher, and then repeat that lesson, that process again and again through all of those one-to-one lessons. Of course, the group lessons are a little bit different to that, and they're kind of running continually, and feel free to just drop into any of the group lessons that are available. When it comes to the one-to-one side of things, try your best to kind of work around these 6 steps kind of in this way, and this will be the best way to kind of learn, practice what you've learned, prove it to the teacher that you've understood, and we can kind of make sure that not only do you know what you're doing, but the teacher also knows how you're doing as well. And then if there are any problems, we'll be able to catch it early because we'll have seen your homework, we'll know, oh, maybe this student's struggling a little bit with their grammar or their reading skills, and we'll hopefully be able to catch that as early as we can and to kind of change the course or change the lessons and kind of tailor your support, kind of work on whatever areas we need to improve on. Of course, do come back to this video if you're not sure about any of this and kind of, again, make sure we're coming through each of these sections. Excellent. So from here, what should you do next then? So I've mentioned this a few times in this video. The first thing we want to do is to complete the Start Here section, which we saw in the student area. Again, that's going to introduce the course to you. It'll have a copy of this video that you're watching right now. It will also introduce the OET exam to you. It will give you some rules about the course and attending lessons. And there'll also be that questionnaire we saw where you can introduce yourself to your teacher. After you've completed that then, take a bit of time to have a look around the OET course. I always used to say to my students, you can't break it, you can't press the wrong button, so just try and press onto everything. Look at where all the reading tests are, have a look to find where all the videos are. For now, you don't need to watch them or understand them all or kind of get into them, but just try kind of clicking through all the different sections so you've got a good idea. Again, if the teacher mentions a course video, you'll then be able to remember, I know where course videos are, and you'll be able to go there. So step 3 then, of course, is going to be booking that first lesson. And when you first start the course, I would recommend booking a one-to-one lesson to begin with. Of course, you have the unlimited group lessons that you can attend anytime, but just to make sure that you kind of understand the course, and if you've got any questions, book a one-to-one lesson first, and that will just kind of give you an opportunity to speak to a teacher, to answer any questions, or anything that kind of isn't clear to you. After you book that first lesson, check your email to make sure that the email has come through, confirming the lesson. If you haven't received the email, I would assume that it hasn't been booked, so go back, check that you press that confirm button, check that you entered the right email address. If you feel that you booked it correctly, but an email still hasn't come, of course, check your junk mail folder, but then do get in touch with us as well. And I'll have a look in a moment exactly of kind of the best way to get our help and to get our support as well. And then after you've done that, of course, the next thing to do will be to attend that lesson. 24 hours before the class begins, you'll get that email coming through with the Zoom meeting link. Open the link and kind of get started. It'll connect you straight away with your teacher, and you'll be able to begin your lessons from there. Fantastic. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump back. We keep going backwards and forwards, but we're going to jump back now into the student area and where to go if you do need any help or if you do need any support from us. Fantastic. So we're back on this page here, which is going to be our OET course. The best way to get our help and to get our support is to use this support section, which is found right on the header, right at the very top. And just fill this form out, your name, what your question's regarding, and what your query is below. And we'll get back to you as soon as we can. We usually get back to you very, very quickly. We like to kind of keep on top of everything. So this is the best way to contact us if you do need any help and do need any support. Things like, not receiving a confirmation email, but also any of these things on this list. So if you've got a question about the student area, if you're not able to cancel your lesson, any kind of technical issues or about payment, anything of that sort, do fill out the form and our team will get back to you as soon as possible. And there are also some frequently asked questions as well, a little bit further down the page. So, fantastic. Thank you again thank you for joining the course. I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, we really do enjoy helping our students to pass these exams and kind of, take the next step in their careers. So, as I also mentioned, make sure you kind of make that commitment to doing your studies. The course is flexible, so don't feel that you need to rush through the course. I need to complete it as soon as I possibly can. The most important thing is to do it properly. Make sure we're kind of following those 6 steps that we saw earlier, that went around the circle, book the lesson, attend the lesson, the videos, that type of thing. Make sure we're kind of doing it properly, not just trying to rush through and finish as quickly as we can, making sure we're doing the homework so we can all track your progress, see how you're doing, and making sure you're kind of following the structure of the course. But if you do have any difficulty or if you do have any questions, please do fill out that form in the student area and we will get back to support you and to kind of offer any help that you might need. And of course, during your lessons, your teacher is there and available to answer any questions that you might have too. So kind of make sure you use that opportunity. Brilliant. So thanks again for watching this video. I'm sure I'll bump into you very, very soon as part of your studies. So take care and we look forward to learning with you very soon. Thank you.